Is my startup go-to-market ready? That's the question I get a lot. You see, you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have a go-to-market strategy, nobody buys it. After building 2 startups and working with over 50 founders, I put together a simple 8-step checklist so you know exactly if you are ready. Step 1, you know exactly what big problem you solve. Now, you're probably thinking, obviously I know that. I built that thing. But let me explain. You've been building your product for months, and now you probably have 20 cool features, dark mode, AI, integrations, whatever. And somewhere in there is the one big problem you were actually trying to solve in the first place. When I built my first startup, I could talk about my product for 20 minutes. But if you asked me what big problem I was solving, I didn't have a good answer. So what is the one big problem your product solves? Write that down. And I'm not talking about the features, not the 10 things it could do. Write down exactly why people would pay for it. If you can't answer that, you will build a product that does a lot, but nobody will pay for. When you have that big problem on a sheet of paper in front of you, you are ahead of 90% of founders. Now you need to know who actually has this problem. A founder in my mastermind built a meditation app. It helps you relax during the workday. And I asked him, who is this for? And he said, well, everybody can use it. Everybody's stressed, right? It sounds fine, but it's not. This is what my product is for everyone looks like. You have no idea who is really going to use it. You have no idea what people actually want. And everything you do becomes a guess. So you use a random headline on your website. You don't know if you should charge $2 or $20 for your product. And you don't know if you can reach your users on Instagram, LinkedIn, or email. This is why so many startups fail. The product itself is great, but you just don't know who your users are. So try this quick exercise. Try to describe your ideal user so specifically that a stranger could pick them out in a room. So don't say people who are stressed. Try works in an office, has back-to-back meetings all day, and is already Googling how to relax at work. Do you see how much clearer that already is? And notice something for a second. You probably already have someone in mind right now. Maybe a past coworker, maybe a friend, or someone you have talked to about this exact problem before. This could be your first customer. Now, if you want help with all of that, that's exactly what we work on in my Startup Mastermind. You will get personal coaching from me, and you can connect to other founders and see what worked for them. Link is in the description below. Step 3, your product is ready. Now, be careful. With ready, I don't mean everything is perfect. I don't mean that you have built 20 features. Remember that big problem you define in step 1. With ready, I mean people can use your product and it solves this exact big problem. A founder I know spent 3 months building his product. 20 cool features, beautiful onboarding. And when he finally launched, people really used only one feature. 1 out of 20. That founder was me. And I would never do it like this anymore. So cut the dark modes, the integrations, the fancy AI stuff. Just build the one thing that solves the big problem for the one person you described in step 2. That's what ready means. And I get it. That feels wrong. Cutting the features you have already planned feels like giving something up, but you're not. In fact, you are making sure that you're focusing on the one thing that is really important, the thing that people actually pay for. And that will make everything easier in the next step. Step 4, you know exactly what to say. Before you sell your product and get your first customers, you need to know exactly what to say. And you do it like this. You take the problem and the person and turn it into one sentence. We help ideal customer who have problem achieve outcome without pain. This sentence, this one sentence, is what makes people stop and say, this is for me. I need this. And you can use this sentence everywhere. on your website, in your ads, or when you talk to people directly. If we stick with our meditation app, a version that nobody buys would be, we help people relax during the workday. Sounds like every other app in the App Store. Instead, we say, we help people who are stuck in back-to-back meetings all day finally relax during the workday without needing to take a 30-minute break. Do you see how clear that is now? If you have meetings all day and feel stressed, you know exactly this is for you. Okay, you know what problem you solve. You know who your customers are, and you know what to say. There is one more thing standing between you and your first customer. You know how much people would pay. Should you charge $20 a month or $100 a month? Let me save you from a big mistake I once made. I once built a product for startup founders. It was just a small bundle to help founders get their first customers, and it cost $500. Guess how many people bought it in 2 months? Nobody. The issue wasn't that the product itself was bad. The price just didn't match the people I built it for. Early founders don't pay $500 for a product like that. So I did solve a real problem, and I did know who my customers were. I just priced it for the wrong people. And notice, this is exactly why step 2 comes before this. If your customer is everybody, you have no idea how much they would pay for your product. So look at your ideal customer and think about how much they would pay for your solution. Would they pay $20 a month or $500? Ask yourself honestly, would I pay that price if I were them? And don't worry, for now, you don't need the perfect number. You just need a range. You can always adjust the price later. Right now, you just need a number that doesn't scare anyone off. Step 6, you have a page where people can buy your product. The next one is simple because you have already done the hard work. You don't build the perfect website where you explain everything. For now, you only need a simple landing page, and you use the message you defined earlier and put it in your headline. A sub-headline that explains what your product does. 3 bullet points that show the benefits. 1 image or a video that shows people what they will get. And 1 button, buy now, with the price right there. That's it. You don't need a pricing table with 4 different tiers. And you don't need long paragraphs that explain every little detail about your product. When people visit your website, you just need to answer the one question, is this for me? Step 7, you know how to reach people. Now, unfortunately, people don't just magically visit your website and buy your product. You need a plan. And there are dozens of ways to do this. You could use ads, content, communities, or reach out to people directly. The big mistake I see many founders make is that they try everything at once. They post on social media here and there, spend $1,000 on ads, and write 3 blog posts. 6 months later, and they still have 0 customers, and they get frustrated. So instead of picking 5 different marketing channels, pick one. Pick the one channel where your ideal customers already are, and quickly test it if it works. For now, you're just trying to figure out which channel works for you, which channel can bring you real customers. Step 8, you know how to turn interest into a paying customer. Now, for the last step, when you show people your product, most of them won't buy, unless you have a clear plan. I cannot tell you how often I've heard, looks cool, I love your product, and then people ditched me. That's frustrating. And the best way to avoid that is to offer people an early bird price. Something like, this will later cost $20 a month. But for you, as an early user, I like to offer it for $10 a month. What do you think? This could also be a free month or free onboarding. Whatever it is, make it valuable to people. So before you reach out to people, make sure you have a clear plan for how to make saying yes as easy as possible. Now, with this checklist, you know exactly if you're go-to-market ready. Make sure you can check all of these. Because if you miss even one, you can have the best product in the world, but still nobody buys. Now, one of the biggest challenges is how should you reach out to people? And what do you actually say to make them buy your product? If you want to see the exact outreach message I used to get my first customers, watch this video next. And if you want more pro tips on how to build a successful startup, hit subscribe. My name is Oscar. See you next week.